Alright, my battery's about to die. Just trying to see if I can get this in here. Shock to front lower control arm. That bolt, that's the proper way it should be in. If you're facing your shock and the nut is not facing you, then it's in backwards. If it's in backwards and that nut's on the back side of this lower front control arm, it's going to interfere with the rear lower control arm. And if you're on turns and you're getting knocking noises, that might be what it is. Because that interference, you're going to see notches in your rear lower control arm, and it's because somebody put it in. It could have been you, or it could have been a mechanic that you mistakenly let touch your car. They put it in backwards because it's easier, and which I found out today, yes, you do have to loosen something up. If you're not doing another job that requires you to disassemble anything, you're going to have to loosen up, or the way I did it was loosen up the rear lower control arm nut. This nut right here. Where are you? Get some light on there. Right there, the lower control nut, lower control arm, rear lower control arm nut for the ball joint. If you loosen that, you don't have to take anything fully apart. Just loosen that, knock it with a hammer a few times, it'll loosen up and give you some clearance to slide that bolt in, because when it's all assembled, there is no clearance for you to slide that bolt in, which I spent a ridiculous amount of time figuring out. It was pretty dumb. I kind of knew that I would have to take something apart, but thankfully you don't really have to take anything apart. I really just came here to do the ride height sensor, but when I saw that annoying backwards bolt, I just felt I had to fix it. It wasn't causing any notches or anything yet, but we're not driving much these days, are we? That was going to be it, but I do want to let you guys know, when you're torquing stuff, I like to use torque wrenches. People say you don't have to, but I do. And you can't really get a torque wrench on this rear lower control arm ball joint nut. It's kind of difficult, so I'm going to show you what I did. It's kind of silly, but I didn't have the right tools, and you might run into that sometimes. So what I did was I took an 18 ratcheting wrench, put that on the bolt. Alright, so it's in there like that. And all of you should have this if you're working on your car. This is really for this. Take that, and that fits right in the 18. Right? So then you get your torque wrench, which I don't know what I just did with mine. Yeah. Alright, so you put that on your torque wrench. That fits. It's not an exact fit, but it fits good enough. You're going to get to torque that, whether it be 73.4 or 81 point whatever. I think I have a steel. That's steel, right, guys? So aluminum is 81 point something. Steel is 74.3 or something like that. 74.7. And you just switch your torque wrench, not to tighten, but to loosen, because you're doing this little attachment thingy, which causes you to have to go the other direction. Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong? We'll see. Oh yeah, only because I was going from underneath. So instead of loosey, lefty loosey, righty tighty, you do the opposite. So that's how I torqued it. Anyway, that was fun. Not. But hey, something to do while we're all on lockdown. Later.